All Things Mavs.
What's up, MFFLs? Welcome into All Things Mavs. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest Dallas Mavericks news and rumors. And on today's show, I'm breaking down 5 players the Dallas Mavericks need to avoid this offseason, both free agents and potential trade targets. So we're going to start off with a trade target, Chris Paul of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And listen, don't get me wrong. CP3 had an incredible bounce back year. It was a super fun story to track. I like Chris Paul a lot now that he's off the Los Angeles Clippers, but I don't want him on this Mavericks team for 2 simple reasons. Number 1, he still has 2 years, $86 million left on his contract, which means his contract is going to extend into the summer of 2021, which is when Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be a free agent. And number 2, he takes the ball out of Luka Doncic's hands, and that means Luka's playing off the ball more, and we don't want that because Luka's 21, Chris Paul is well past his prime. So I'm not down for trading for CP3, despite the incredible numbers that he put up with the Thunder this past year, putting up that 18 points per game, 7 assists, and somehow grabbing 5 rebounds despite being the undersized point guard that he is. An efficient 49% from the field. He was a good mid-range shooter, a good three-point shooter, and he created well for his teammates, pushing that Thunder team into a playoff spot that nobody expected them to be at. So at 35 years old, with way too much money on his deal and needing the ball in his hands to succeed, I'm out on Chris Paul. Don't give up assets for CP3. So I want to ask you guys this question. What would you rather see the Dallas Mavericks do this offseason? Trade for some players to improve their roster or keep what they've got? Let me know in the comment section which of those 2 options you'd rather see them do. Personally, I think you just run it back with the same team, wait for 2021, and don't risk going after a trade, but maybe you disagree. Let me know down below. Now let's go to another trade target, DeMar DeRozan of the rival San Antonio Spurs. Listen, DeMar is a good player. He can still score with the best of them. He is a 20-plus point per game guy. He's going to opt into his deal, so it would only be a 1-year rental for the Mavs. My problem with DeMar DeRozan is the fact that he can't shoot the 3, and that makes him a really awkward fit in today's NBA, and especially within Dallas' system. Much like Chris Paul, he needs the ball in his hands to succeed. He's not a great off-the-ball player at this point in his career. He gets shots from the mid-range. He gets to the rim. But if he can't space the floor, he's kind of useless in Rick Carlisle's offense. You look over the past 4 years at what he's done. Obviously, he was an all-star back with Toronto twice. When he was with Toronto in 2016, 2017, 27 points per game. That's incredible. Unfortunately, that's dipped down to 22 points per game, and the three-point percentage still has not gone up. The best he shot from 3 was 31% back in 2017, 2018, and he was only taking like 1 per game. So if you can't get a guy that can shoot, why give up assets for him? He's a good defender. He can get to the rim. I think if he opted out of his deal and he was a free agent, I might be okay with giving him a 1-year deal. But because he'd have to give up assets for him, out on DeMar DeRozan. But he is a wing, and I will admit, the Mavs desperately need some wing depth. So if you're in this camp of, hey, let's trade for players, let me know one wing that you'd like to see the Dallas Mavericks trade for this offseason. Put it down in the comment section below. Now let's go from a wing over to a big, and we're going to go with Montrezl Harrell because this name has been popular among Mavs fans. He has popped up in rumors on social media saying, hey, the Mavs might actually be interested in this guy. And for a little bit, I kind of convinced myself that might be an okay fit, but now I'm really thinking about it, and I'm like, no thank you, I'll pass on Montrezl Harrell. So he's an unrestricted free agent, number 1. You have to give him long-term money. He's not going to settle for a 1-year deal. He wants long-term money, which eats into the 2021 cap space. No thank you. Number 2, you got to clear cap space for him. So that means probably getting rid of guys like maybe a Tim Hardaway Jr. if he opts back into his deal. Maybe you have to trade away a Maxey or a Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't want to do that for a big man that can't stretch the floor. And in all reality, you saw it in the playoffs, he's not a good defender. Sure, he's energetic. Sure, he gets under players' skin. That doesn't mean he's a good defender, and the Mavs have enough lack of defense. So I'm out on Montrezl Harrell. Sure, he was 6th man of the year, and that was a lot of fun. I think he's still a great player, and I could talk myself into giving him a long-term deal. But I'm out. I say if I had Mark Cuban on the phone right now, and I could DM him because he does follow me on Twitter, fun fact. So I could give him a DM and say, hey, Mark, listen, I'm going to show you why you don't want Montrez, and I hope he listens to me. Because in all honesty, there's no reason to give up this much money for a guy that can't play defense, and in all honesty, is kind of obnoxious. Let's just be honest. But maybe you disagree, and I think there's an argument on both sides because I was on the other side for a little bit. For a little bit, I was like, you know what? Trez might make some sense, but let me know what you guys think. Do you actually want him? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I would take him on a one-year deal, but I'm not going to take him on a long-term contract. So I'd be typing my in for no, but maybe disagree. Let me know in the comment section below. Now, no matter who the Mavs end up with this offseason, whether it's via trade or free agency, or if they just stand pat, we're going to have it all for you here on All Things Mavs. And that's really the only way to prove that you're a true Mavs fan for life. You can have all the jerseys, you can have all the gear, you can have all the social media posts you want about the Mavs, but until you subscribe to All Things Mavs, you really cannot be a true Mavs fan for life. So go down, comment section. It's in the link. It's in the description. There's also a big red button that says subscribe. Click on that and subscribe today. Now let's go to another big man, and this time we're going to go from one that is a free agent over to a trade target with Andre Drummond, another guy that's probably going to opt into his current deal with his current team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's my problem with Drummond. And there was a point in time during the trade deadline where everyone was like, let's go get Andre Drummond. I said no, because he's always put up big numbers. Always. He's always done it since he's come to the league. His teams have never won. They have never translated to wins one time in his entire career. He can't shoot the ball. What is he going to do? Post up down low? And Rick Carlisle doesn't post his big men up. This makes no sense. I'm not giving up assets for Andre Drummond. There is absolutely no reason to trade for a guy like Andre Drummond when, in all honesty, you're already a good rebounding team. Because a lot of people are like, the Mavs can't rebound that well. Actually, they were like second in offensive rebounding percentage in the entire NBA. That's really all that Andre Drummond does now is rebound the ball. There's just no reason at all to bring in a guy like Drummond if you're going to have to give up assets like, again, a Maxi Kleber or even, I don't know, maybe a Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know what Cleveland would want at this point, so there's no reason to go out and get him. Plus, you've already got an abundance of big men on this team. Kristaps Porzingis, he's your starter, maybe the forward position, maybe the center position. I want more Maxi Kleber minutes. I'd rather play him than Andre Drummond because Maxi can stretch the floor. Dwight Powell's coming back from the Achilles injury. He fits better in the offense as a true lob threat. Boban is kind of, if you want Andre Drummond, you basically have a poor man's version of that in Boban Marjanovic. And then Willie Cauley-Stein, the hashtag Goon Squad leader, is probably coming back too on that player option. So look, there's just no reason to go out and get a big man that's going to clog up the paint like Andre Drummond. But if you don't like what the Mavs have at the big man depth, the best way to improve that for the Mavs would be by trading for one. So I asked you earlier to name a wing, but now if you want a big man, name one big man you'd like to see the Mavs trade for in the comment section below. Now let's go to a free agent target. Wouldn't be trade, but we're going with Hassan Whiteside of the Portland Trail Blazers, a guy that the Mavs chased actually a couple of years ago. They were trying to get the pipe dream of Mike Conley and Hassan Whiteside together, but it didn't happen. Now Whiteside's a free agent once again after playing a year in Portland, which honestly, it wasn't that impressive. Much like Andre Drummond, he's always been an incredible shot blocker, an incredible rebounder, and also he scores the ball pretty well, but he's never been on a real winning team. Plus, he's lazy, and he could disrupt the chemistry. I don't like that. You know what else I don't like? People that decide not to wear masks out in public. The best way to rep the Mavs, and also get these on an incredible deal is by going to chatsports.com/Mavs mask. Get up to 30% off today on all the face masks. You can get 1, packs of 2, packs of 3, or packs of 4. They're machine washable, and they've got brand new styles basically coming out every single week. So go pick yours up today at chatsports.com/Mavs mask. They're also shipping for free for a limited time only. They have the All Things Mavs guarantee on them. So go pick yours up today. Let's keep talking about Hassan Whiteside and why I don't like him for the Dallas Mavericks. Again, you look at his numbers with Portland this past year, 16 points per game, 14 boards, and 3 blocks. You're like, Jimmy, I would love those kind of numbers on this Mavs team. Yeah, I'm sure you would, but look at Portland. Portland didn't do anything this past year. They were barely in the playoffs, and that was only because Yusuf Nurkic came back in the bubble and took all of Hassan Whiteside's minutes away from him. Plus, the guy can't shoot. And if the Mavs are going to play a big man and a true center, they're going to play one that can at least shoot the ball a little bit from three. So you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm laying out 5 big men that can actually shoot the ball, that actually make sense for the Mavs as free agents if you really want a big man, which I don't think should be a priority this offseason. Kelly Olynyk, a former Maverick basically because we drafted him and then we also almost traded for him this offseason, shoots it 40% from 3. Go get him instead of Hassan Whiteside. Serge Ibaka blocks the shots just like Hassan Whiteside does. He rebounds the ball well like Hassan Whiteside does, and he can actually shoot. Go get him instead of Hassan Whiteside. Aaron Baines gets under players' skins. I like him. More than Hassan Whiteside. Marcus Gasol, a little bit older, a better leader, not lazy. He's actually going to work hard. Go get him. He can shoot the ball. And then there's Myers Leonard. Now, he didn't really play in the finals, but he started most of the regular season and shot Dirk numbers at 41% from beyond the three-point arc. I would take any of those guys over Hassan Whiteside, who's going to want to get overpaid for just being a shot blocker and a rebounder. 2 things that in today's NBA don't matter as much as a big man that can actually shoot. So you made it to the end of the video. You saw the 5 names that I laid out in front of you that the Mavs should avoid. I said Chris Paul, don't trade for him. DeMar DeRozan, don't trade for him. Montrezl Harrell, don't sign him. Andre Drummond, don't trade for him. And Hassan Whiteside, don't sign him. But maybe I missed a name. Maybe there's one back in the memory bank that I forgot about that you know. Let me know. Who should the Dallas Mavericks avoid this offseason?